Hey everyone, welcome back to the show, Fantasy Football, as we are doing this new series. I'm so excited to be able to share this content with you. I'm just pumped because we want to make you be able to compete, to contend, and to win a championship. I've been playing fantasy football for over 20 years, and one of the joys that I've had is to meet not only my friend, but know that we have a same shared passion and excitement about fantasy football. And so Stuart Dixon's back on the channel. Come on, I've got the Raiders jersey in honor of Stu here. I'm pumped and love having him in my leagues. I love his fantasy advice. And if there's one thing that Stu knows, it's rookie running backs. So I want to welcome you back to the show, Stu. Glad to have you here.
Well, thanks so much, Trevor. It's a pleasure to be back on the program. I think the content you're producing is absolutely fantastic. You've been a great guest on my show, The Extra Point, which is our internal fantasy podcast in our league, which is a great segue to this topic about rookie running backs. Everybody at the drafts every year, they're like, who's rookie running backs and receivers we should go after? And, I just start with the college tape because you know what, if you don't know the college career, then you don't know how the player is going to pan out. I think this class has got some interesting upside and takes. So I can't wait to
Totally. And so this is why I wanted to talk to you about it, because I'm not as knowledgeable when it comes to watching the college tapes. You are. And I wanted to bring in the guru, the NCAA specialist here. And we want to talk today about the busts, those that are going to bust, that they're going to just break. There's too much hype about them. And those that are going to bust out and kick some butt and that you want on your rosters. And you can get a lot of these guys for in the later rounds. And so make sure you watch this whole video here. So we're going to start with those that are going to fail, okay? And so we're those that are going to bust. They're just going to just fuzzle out, that's not even a word, mess up. They're not even going to be what everyone's calling them to be. So Stu, I'm going to hand it over to you. Who are the ones that are just going to be busts? They're not going to pan out for you.
Well, for me, I have two guys in particular, and the first one I think is just more situational, and the other one I think is more in terms of utilization and deployment. So the first one for me, I'm not really having a lot of confidence about is Travis Etienne in Jacksonville. He was a first-round pick, 25th overall, played at Clemson Tigers, was an absolute star for them, playing with Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson in his freshman year. Etienne has a lot of miles on him. Carried the ball, had touched the ball 1,500 times in his college career. Relatively healthy, dynamic player. But going into a situation in Jacksonville where there's a guy there named James Robinson who's got a big chip on his shoulder out of Indiana State, second year back. I think with Darrell Bevell being the offensive coordinator, he likes his running backs a lot, but he likes to use really one guy. He used Marshawn Lynch in Seattle. He was kind of with Kerryon Johnson a bit in Detroit. Of course, he had Adrian Peterson, which is who wouldn't pick anyone over Adrian Peterson in Minnesota? So very seasoned offensive coordinator. Where I think it gets a little more murky is the college aspect to this team. Here you got Urban Meyer, former Ohio State and Florida Gators coach, coming in. You got a rookie quarterback. You got Tim Tebow trying to block and play tight end. There just seems to be not a lot of continuity with this Jacksonville offense. And you know what? I kind of wonder sometimes, maybe they should have just kept Uncle Rico. But, all things, nothing against Trevor Lawrence. He's a generational talent. But all things being equal, I'm not really seeing a lot of confidence or credence for me to think Travis Etienne is going to have, 1,200 yards and, 10 plus touchdowns. Unless you're using him a lot in the passing game, which is good, or if there's an injury to James Robinson, then I'd have more confidence. But, the college career, the miles, the situation, everything here, I'm kind of fading as a fantasy manager.
Yeah. Okay, and give me another one. That's great advice.
Yeah, so my second guy, I actually like the player. Don't really like the situation too much. And that's Javonte Williams in Denver. He was actually a great player for North Carolina, the Tar Heels basketball school. And actually, Michael Carter, his backup, is also a rookie running back with New York, which we'll get to in a bit as well. But with Javonte, my issue with him more so is that I know Drew Lock looked good in that preseason game, but it's preseason. How much can we take that as face value? Denver has had really good running backs in their history. They'd like to run the ball. Fangio wants to run the ball. There's some concerns with that offensive line there. And there's really concerns with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater having an open competition at quarterback. Plus, there's a guy there from University of Wisconsin, longtime NFL veteran, Melvin Gordon, who's in a contract year as well. So, and Gordon actually had a decent start to the fantasy year last year too. So while I do think that if Melvin Gordon's cut or hurt, then yeah, I think the sky's the limit for Javonte Williams with the backfield per se. But with Denver fantasy players, like if Peyton Manning's quarterback there, then yeah, like I think we're going Javonte Williams all the way. We've seen Teddy Bridgewater make guys have some fantasy value, DJ Moore, Michael Thomas, but those have been receivers. There hasn't really been a lot of backs standalone unless your name's Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey. And Javonte Williams, I don't know if he has that in him. He was primarily the starter at UNC too. I get an ACC school going up against Clemson, Florida State, big schools. But you know what? Like, again, little question of miles on him. And that's one of the reasons why I think, he could struggle a little bit. So not willing to make like a 6th or 7th round pick investment in him right now.
Right. Oh, good call. Do you want to move into the busts out, the booms, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's get to it. So I think the big one is Najee Harris, which we've seen him play at the University of Alabama. Pittsburgh Steelers took him 24th overall. Pittsburgh certainly could have used a back like him last season. But there's little competition in that situation. I get not the best offensive line, but a great strength of schedule in Pittsburgh. You got a, big brain quarterback, big arm quarterback, and Big Ben. I get he's pushing 40, but you know what? Like the Steelers offense as a whole should be comfortable, with Big Ben calling the helm here. Plus, Najee Harris has really put in the work. This guy loves to hurdle guys. You should go just Google Najee Harris hurdles. It's entertaining. We've seen the University of Alabama produce great running backs over years, unless your name is Trent Richardson. But, very much so. I think he's got all the tools to be a 3-down back in this league, climbing up a lot of boards right now. I know some guys are hoping to get him in the 2nd round. And I personally think if you're having a later draft like we are, I think you might see Najee become a 1st or late 1st round pick, depending on your format and number of teams. But he's got all the tools to be a great rookie running back. Could be in the Saquon Zeke territory quite easily.
Yeah, no, great. They talk about when rookie running backs get drafted, they want to go into the right situations, and this one is the right situation. I think I'm with you, though. I'm very concerned about that O-line, but everything else to me seems like it's a good fit. And I know that O-line is pretty important for running backs, but I can see this guy's a talented running back, and he could just definitely bust out and boom and win you some fantasy weeks. All right, give me another one, Stu.
Yeah, so I got 2 more guys. I'll try and keep it brief here, but I really like Trey Sermon in San Francisco. Trey Sermon played at Ohio State, played with Justin Fields, big bruising back. 49ers want to establish a run. We've seen it with Raheem Mostert. How many backs have the 49ers used over the last 6 seasons? And all of them have just turned out great performances. Even JaMychal Hasty had a decent game. like Jeff Wilson's been great. Mostert's been great. Really, if you think about it, the 49ers, since Frank Gore really left, have just produced great running backs. I think Trey Sermon definitely has what it takes. I mean, this is also a division the 49ers are in with some hard-nosed defenses. Maybe not so much up in Seattle right now, but they still play really tough. And I think you got to have a guy that can go in between the tackles. Sermon's a big power back. He's got a bit of moxie to his game in the passing game. If the 49ers do use Trey Lance early, it could be similar to a field situation where there's a lot of read option. I think he's going to get a ton of looks. Plus, Mostert hasn't really been as healthy as, he'd like to be. And, the 49ers might have a decision to make. So, I think Trey Sermon, I think he's got all it takes to be a power back in this league. The other guy I really like, and I alluded to him earlier, is it's actually a little bit of a 49er link to this, is New York Jets Robert Saleh and his rookie running back, Michael Carter. So Michael Carter, quick bio on him. He was the primary 1B back, we'll call him, backup back at UNC, to Javonte Williams in Denver. And all accounts out of training camp is that this guy is just bruising guys. Let's not forget, too, that the Jets brought a couple 49er players over when they hired Saleh. One of them was Tevin Coleman, the running back, Falcons, 49ers, as to be the, one of the guys there in New York to run the football. But he's kind of getting on the backside of his career a bit, and more so going there to implement Mike LaFleur's system, Matt LaFleur's brother, the OC in New York, to implement that system, because it's the same kind of similar system what the 49ers ran. The reason why I like Michael Carter is this. He is going to play behind a rock solid, big, enormous unit of an offensive line led by Mekhi Becton, the left tackle, who's one of the biggest players in the NFL. And you know what? Like, those AFC East defenses, I think the Patriots will certainly be better, but the Bills, average against stopping the run. The Dolphins, average against stopping the run. Good schedule for the Jets. Rookie quarterback, I get it, but I look for a lot of pistol in this offense, similar to what the 49ers ran. And I think with Michael Carter, because he didn't have as many college carries as Javonte Williams had, here's a guy that, there's a reason why he was a decent recruit in his college career, a reason why he stuck around, a reason why the Jets made a decent investment in him in the fourth round. So I'm snagging Michael Carter where I can get him, because you know what, if he booms and seizes the backfield there, plus the New York Jet fans, they expect two things: good running the ball and great defense and no butt fumbles. So I don't think Michael Carter, might become a fan favorite, and sign me up.
Right. Right. And I think you're right. Like that O-line, you need to think about that. Everyone thinks that the Jets are going to be 0-16. They're not going to be 0-16 this year. Nowhere
to go but up.
Exactly. And Zach Wilson is a very, very effective quarterback. We understand he's a rookie. There's going to be some mistakes there, but they are going to run this ball. And so that's great fantasy advice. So Stu, just before we end this episode today, in regards to Harris, we know where his draft value is. You feel very comfortable with that. What about Sermon and Carter? What rounds would you be more comfortable to actually take these guys and say you'd feel comfortable and help guys out here with that spot?
Depending on your league format, scoring format, number of managers in the league, and knowing the certain tendencies and attributes of your competition, I'd be comfortable, in a 6th round, or if you could wait longer, do it. But probably the 6 to 9 rounds, these guys are going to be available. I know Sermon's going a little earlier than Carter right now. He's climbing up like 5th round in some cases. But you know what? Like, you should feel confident if you have rounded out your starting lineup to start taking these guys, because they could boom and boom big. It might take a while. It might take a few weeks there, but you know what? Patience pays off in fantasy, and knowing when to pull the trigger. Or if they are having some upside, you might be able to flip them, for like a really good, player to round out the rest of your lineup too. So I think they're going to carry some value. And you know what? I think you'd be a fool to pass over some of these rookie RBs for guys like, Juju Smith-Schuster and Jarvis Landry.
Right.
It all depends on knowing your competition, your scoring format, and number of teams available.
Yeah, and I appreciate that advice, because I haven't done my research yet for the running back strategy. I just filmed and launched the quarterback one. I'm going to be doing tight end, wide receiver strategies as well. And so thanks for that excellent help and advice. So as you guys can see, This is why we bring Stuart Dixon in here talking about these running backs. You got the ones that are going to bust and the ones that are going to bust out and kick some butt. And so we hope that you win this. Also, a reminder that we are doing a subscribers league. So if you subscribe to this channel and post in the comments, I'm interested, you're going to be eligible to be a part of that league. You'll be drafting with me and with other guests, and we want to have some fun with you. We're going to be talking about that league throughout the year on the show, and so I would love to have you a part of that. So please sign up. We've got a few people who've already signed up, and I'm excited about fantasy football. I'm excited about having Stuart here. And always remember, like, comment, subscribe, share this stuff with your friends. This is to help people in fantasy football to enjoy it. We want people to have fun. Maybe you don't have as much time to know these things. We're here to help you so that you don't have to do all the research on your own. And thanks, Sue, for showing up. I so appreciate you. What a breath of fresh air you are to our podcast. And I don't even know, this is a podcast vlog. I don't even know what we call this YouTube channel. And so thanks for being here.
No sweat. Gentlemen, go get yourself a ring.